Okay, let's start. So, I am a Kenyan based actually in Europe. In particular, I am based in Poland. So, I know it's a lot of dream for many people to travel abroad, yeah? And what actually motivates this is sometimes political climate in the country is not conducive for business, or it's not even conducive for even to get a job. Uh, Sometimes it's poverty levels. Maybe you are raised in a humble family, and you decide to leave your country to go and seek further, avenues of creating money or creating a life, basically. So another thing that could also be, which also happened to me personally, wanting to have that higher education from an international university. So, and maybe another one will be leisure. And then now the thing is, some people came to the country for leisure and they ended up loving it and they ended up staying. So all this information that I'm giving, so like just like for me, I came here to study, and I kind of like the system, how it works, and it sucked me in. And now even thinking about going home is a little bit hard. To be honest, it's a little bit hard. So when you think about you're gonna handle with the corruption, with the bureaucracy, disarrangements, but I'm not saying that the disarrangement is actually on a negative side. Actually, the disarrangement back at home in Africa, or in Kenya in particular for my case, is that disarrangement creates money. All right? So it creates money. So another people who are coming abroad are people who are coming, they got a partner, maybe from the internet, maybe somebody was visiting their country, like somebody would be visiting your country, like Kenya, and you end up getting linked up with this person, and boom, you become one people, and you decide to leave your country to go and stay with your partner. Maybe it doesn't matter, either a woman or a man. So there are many various instances where somebody could leave the country and go abroad. Sometimes even it's about political, sometimes even it's about unrest in the country. So there are many ways people come abroad. Now, I want to give my personal story. Basically, I will not give everything in details, because if I did everything in details, we'll go here for an hour or so. So for me, I decided to come and I was actually practicing business back at home. I was employed twice. Is it twice or twice? I can't remember, because I was employed on a marketing company, and then I was employed in a construction company, and then a real estate. And then from the real estate now, I branched out. So these are official work that I was actually employed. So it was marketing, construction, and then real estate. And then from the real estate, I opened my own business. I started my own hustle and moved away from employment to now business. And after some time, I thought maybe I need more knowledge, because I came to a point whereby there's some things that I couldn't understand very well, or I couldn't get through, and I thought maybe education could be the necessary tool to take me up the ladder. So I decided to take that position and travel abroad. So my first incidents, I tried to travel abroad. I tried to travel to Australia. The visas are not easy. That's a story for another day. The visas are not very easy to get, actually, these tourist study visas. So I got rejected, and during that time, in the semester where we were supposed to start on September, I decided I would not stay in Kenya, because I told my friends I'm packing up. My mind was already out of the country. I'd closed most of my business, because I didn't want, my business was not a business whereby it had reached to a point where it could actually run on itself. I practically needed to be there like supervise, work in the company. So my company was, I wouldn't say, yeah, I could still say it was still hand to mouth. You know, there are stages of businesses. There are stages that when you start a business, it's a self-employment. Yes. So my business was actually self-employment. So I needed to work in the company for the company to stand. And there are things that, in terms of branding, in terms of principality, in terms of ethical work, I didn't want that to be tainted on my company. So I decided to close the company, shut everything down, and so I was doing real estate management. I had to give back the houses to the owners, and that's how I left the country. So I got a visa for studying here in Poland, and I decided, since I really wanted to become an architect, my grades could not qualify me to be an architect. I was already involved in construction and real estate, so I was thinking about maybe I need to what's that word? I need to do a course that is related, because I forgot. My last year I was working in my own company and also working for another. So because okay, it's a big story to explain, but I will explain it in future. My way of doing things attracted me to another company to go and work. So I was basically working for myself and also working for the other company. So I had two jobs back in Kenya. So I had my own business and I had somebody else's business. More so, it was related, okay? The business was just basically related. So as I'm going to the field for my own job, because it was related on construction and real estate, and the same business is what I was doing. So I had my own office in another company. It's like having an office inside an office. So I don't know how to explain, but I will do it in another video. So I decided to come here, and there is that enjoyment that you feel of when I will travel abroad. Since there's a lot of money abroad, I will do such and such, I will do so and so, I will support so and so, I will make something better for myself, I will build this magnificent business. Man, that's a lie. It's a lie. All that is not possible. The challenges that you face back in Africa, back in your own country, are the same challenges that could be even faced here. Even, for that matter of fact, it's even way worse abroad. It's quite easier for you to elevate yourself up there than when you're here. It seems, on paper, moving abroad seems easier to do business or doing stuff, but on reality, on ground, it is a lot of work. It takes a lot. So there are a lot of things that is involved in basically just setting up a business abroad. And as I opened business, because I later did open business here in Poland, and I realized it is not as easy as the paper looks like. The explanation that you get about opening a business is not easy. Can you imagine? I have two companies back at home, which I closed down. It means that they are not operational. But it's been 6 years and nothing has happened. But if I decide to close down here without notifying the government, I will be required to pay insurance for that company. That's challenge number one. That was totally new. Total culture shock. Like, there's culture shock when you come, there's that culture shock when you come to a country, you see it, yes, you feel it. But there's a culture shock of what happens on the ground. That was a big culture shock for me. So like, just having the company, you have to pay insurance for that company. So just owning a company here is not free, like back at home. That's one of the limitations. And another thing I also noticed, there's a lot of procedure in doing stuff. There's some jobs, there's some work businesses in maybe not Poland, but another country. You need actually the required skill. Like if you're a doctor, you know, basically over worldwide, if you're a doctor, you need to have the, you know, the doctor's skill to run that business, or management. Yes, sorry. So that means you have to at least have management skill. They will look at what they have. So there's a lot of, I realize there's a lot of bottlenecks to succeed here, and it's been controlled over years and years and years. It's not something new. So back at home, I realized that you can actually open a business and be successful, and start so easy. But here you have to go through a lot of documentation process to actually start the business. If you want to start a business, even from a restaurant or a cafeteria or a bar, there's a lot of paperwork you have to go through. There's a lot of inspection that I have to take, which I did not even do when I was back at home. There's a lot that actually is being involved, and it makes if you don't have the finances, it's very hard. And that's why I was wondering when I was coming here. I was like, why are you people not doing business? You have low rates APR. The APR is here. It's like 3% for the citizens. For the foreigners like me, it's a 6%, 6-7%. In my country, the APR is at 23, 22, 21, even to some extent 26. So I was like, you guys have a better opportunity to actually leverage on business. Then I slowly realized that it's the bottlenecks that is actually preventing people from exploring more or doing more. Oh man, I wish I knew that before. And this is actually why I'm doing this video. I'm actually just trying to tell people the reality on how things are. And then, so there's a lot of documentation, there's a lot of inspections that actually are being undertaken for you to even have that business. So you will actually you can actually open the company, but when you want to practice the business, you have to have this test done, this documentation. You have to notify the government what type of business you're going to do. So it is not easy. It's not easy. And can you imagine opening a business for 6 months? You've not started earning, but you just actually invested 6 months. You're actually investing. You're investing. So that was new, because in my country, if I want to start a food business, I will just buy the equipment and tomorrow I start selling. If the guy from the city council crosses, I pay him the daily ticket. Easy lemon squeezy. But here, you can't. You need to have the certificate that you are actually fit to actually sell food. The place has to be in a certain design that they have already put it stipulated. Like there used to be an electric stove. Okay, well, if you have an electric stove, or if you are burning food with fat, there's a fire extinguisher, special fire extinguisher for switching off the gas. There needs to be a toilet. There needs to be a changing room. Man, I honestly think it's a good thing to do, but all those, if you are actually starting from the ground, it will be a little bit hard for you even to grow that business. And just imagine even paying for that rent for the next 6 months. It's not easy. It's not easy. And also, like now, also the problem is that I came to a country that they do not speak English. So can you imagine, you're selling your beautiful products, but you can't speak the language? I never thought about that. Never thought about that. That was something that I read. I later realized that it's not easy. So it means you have to employ a staff that speaks in the language. So that means it's salary out, and if you're not making enough, can you imagine where it could land you? It could land you in big business. Here, they are very strict on labor laws. You have to pay people per hour. The amount is being stipulated so clearly. And also here we also pay for the insurance for the employees, so that if they get sick, they can even get paid. So, and it's not even a lot of, it's not even little money. It's a lot of money, and the taxes here are quite high now. That's where the difference is. They actually, in Kenya, getting a loan is quite expensive, but here paying the taxes are quite expensive. We are paying the taxes at 23%. So which back in Kenya will be 16, and then there will be another corporate tax if you are a limited company. So basically, I noticed that there's a lot of challenges doing business here. A language barrier too being one of them, and also I looked into just renting the space. Sometimes, how you're a foreigner, you are actually seen in a different way. It's very hard to get a space as a foreigner, and if you get it, it's very expensive for you because there's risk involved in. They will want to charge you more or just take advantage of you. So there is a lot. So sometimes you go to a person to rent the place, and when they realize that you have the knowledge of the language, they actually don't pay you. They don't charge you more because they'll be like, this guy will catch up with us so quickly, and maybe he knows one or two things in the. But when you just look blatant, or people will take advantage of you left, right, and center. And then also there are things that, because professionally you will be looking for somebody online and everything, it's actually very expensive. But the locals here have already developed to know where they could get cheaper services, accounting services, because vitally if you're having a company, you need to have an accountant who is qualified to do your calculation, because filling those forms for the accounts is not easy. It's very tricky. Sometimes the law says this, the law says that, and sometimes could be a clash. So only the accountant can help you to understand which way to be filled, or they could be the only ones who could fill it the right way. And also the law changes anytime. Here they can decide to change the law. When we came, after I think some months, they changed the law. If you are below 26, you don't pay taxes. Either you are a foreigner or you are just a local. You don't pay taxes. Can you imagine? That's a total way change. So if you're having employees who are 26 and you didn't pay them, they could actually call up on you and you can get arrested. So, oh man, it is quite an experience. Did I learn something out of it? Yes, I learned a lot of it. And I'll be giving far more details about what I discovered, what is workable, and what is not easy. And then also, the business here is quite different. So the business here has been affected by the climate. Yes, the climate actually plays a big role. So with the climate, during winter, it's quite hard to sell business like ice cream, So if you're thinking of that business like juices, it's quite hard to actually. Right now in summer, it's actually a fantastic business to do. It's a very, very fantastic business. So, and also just changing that. There are people who I know have right now ice cream, but during winter they'll change it to a kebab shop. How they flip it up, don't ask me. It's quite. Actually, I think they're used to it. This is something that they're used to it for many years to do. So for me, basically, when I look at it, I was like, those are good challenges. Those are good experiences which I've learned from, and I'm just thinking, like, even if I go back home, in the near future, I'll be in a better position to understand how business has been done. That's only the negative part I've just talked about, or the cons. Let's say the cons. Negative is a very heavy word, and it doesn't appeal to many people. So for me, I would think those are the cons, but the pros also are there. I talked about low interest rates. There's a lot of order here, and no one can take up your business because of the documentation process that you undertook. It's quite easy to generate money because people have liquidity funding. Even though that we have now a recession or the war is causing a lot of inflation up, people still appreciate to have good life. Here they appreciate to have good life. So doing business here, it's about giving people service. Yes, so that is something also I learned. Here it's about service, not about just creating money. Back at home, it will be about creating money. People will build something that, I don't know, maybe this test is over 20 years and it still looks practically much in good state. But in my country, after even 2 months, it's broken. You know, it's fallen off. You can't use it. So that is one thing I came to learn when I'm doing business here. So there's a lot of stories. I will be giving you up stories of what's happening. I'll just explain, share my own stories, share also other people's stories. You know, so that if you happen to be in these countries, or if you're back at home, you could actually realize the advantages that you have and use it to the maximum level. Because sometimes we'll be thinking that traveling is now where your things could actually get better. But it actually could get better you just by not even leaving the country, but just with such information that you'll know. You'll inform yourself in a better place, and you do the right thing to see your business prosper. So this is my 101 business updates on doing business as a foreigner in Poland, and that's it. I wouldn't want to continue more. I'll just let it end there, so that in future maybe we will add more on stories about this. It's a very huge topic, and I will be tackling it slowly by slowly. Thank you so much. I hope you will watch my next video that will be coming up during the night. I have a very good video about what's happening on the development of Christmas list, and I will have posted it there. So see you until evening time. Thank you so much, and thank you for those who subscribed. Thank you so much.